Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike. I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for September 25th, 2022. We've got some great Transformers news this week. It's been a massive week, so much going on, but yeah, Transformers news. Dungeons & Dragons, I did make a video, but I am going to touch on a few points in the news. Of course, I got to talk about Haslab, and I'm thinking about making a whole video about it, but I don't know if there's enough there. But I'm going to have a little segment on what I think about this Haslab project. We got stuff coming in at BBTS and probably everywhere else too with Masters of the Universe, and then there's some other stuff going on with BBTS getting some other really cool stuff. And we got a starting lineup, information, price, and some stuff like that. Touch on that briefly. Of course, there's always a little bit of Star Wars news to talk about. Talk about all this and more coming up. Alright, talking about some new stuff arriving at ShowZ. We've got the X-Transplants MX-16R Overheat Drag Strip Racer version, limited edition, blue drag strip instead of the yellowish. So, it does look pretty cool overall, and they are really good at their repaints. This thing does look well painted, head to toe. I don't think the other one was painted this much, so that does carry a bit of a premium on this figure. Of course, I think the other one was like $70. But then again, prices have gone up since then. So anyway, pretty cool. If you're interested in this, ShowZ's got it right now. Seems like they got another batch of the fourth party Megatron MP36. So this is a KO fourth party, not official, $80. I've seen them in the past for like 60, but still 80 is definitely not bad for this mold. And they've had many runs, so I'm sure that these should all be pretty solid figures by now. Shockwave is coming into stock right now at ShowZ. Now, this is the New Age, or not New Age, Magic Square version, which is kind of funny because New Age is putting another one out at the exact same time Magic Square is putting theirs out, and they're sort of matching the colors. But this one is $33. What an outstanding value that you get for this figure. I've got it ordered. I got it coming in. I am going to review it. And coming in stock, the official Fans Toys original Quietus, the FT29 Quietus. This is not the T. This is not the one with the pink arms and the more purple, or it's a little bluer color, and all of the white is white, not pink. So this one is $190. So the original cost, when I pre-ordered mine originally, it was like $160. I got my first one $130. The second one was $160. Now with all the inflation, $190 doesn't seem that bad. I don't know if there's going to be a KO in this color, but I heard there might be. Okay, so some of the masterpiece Transformer news this week. Toy World is making a Bumblebee movie, Shatter, and it's a triple changer. Now, the thing about this is, and I've reported on this in the past, is that the Studio Series 1 was not a triple changer. Now, I don't know if they've popped off a triple changer Studio Series since then, but there's not a masterpiece version of this yet. And Toy World usually is a little bit bigger, and they do use some pretty good materials. This is a very nice looking representation of the character. I'm not super all in on all the movie characters, but this one was very intriguing, and the fact that it is a triple changer, and they pull it off very well. All the modes look really good on this, so I think they've done a pretty good job on this one, and delivering, yes, this is a nice looking Bumblebee movie Shatter from Toy World, and Toy World is still in the game. Okay, so next up we have this kit. This is, I'm saying masterpiece, this is way bigger. This is the Agora Models G1 Optimus Prime diecast metal kit. This is an impressive 600-part fully posable diecast metal kit with lights, sound, voice effects. It stands 78 centimeters or 31 inches tall once it's assembled, and with a weight of approximately 11 kilograms. So this is going to be big, it's going to be heavy, and it's going to be expensive, like $400, so you can spread the cost out over 9 months to a year, or 2 years, however you want to do it. So it's pretty interesting, and it's heavily detailed, highly detailed, die-cast, 600 parts. You have to put it together. So $400 model kit, pretty impressive. Alright, so we got pictures of a TFCon Chicago 2022 exclusive, the Fans Hobby MB06/11E God Delta. This is a power baser that's being recolored and all that kind of stuff. So anyhow, there's only going to be 600 pieces worldwide, $335, and available at TFCon Chicago and it is in conjunction with Chosen Prime. So pretty cool. Pretty cool to put this out, and it's differently colored. I think the colors pop. I think the colors do look really good on this guy. Here is like another part of it. And so with this, you know what you're getting with this mold. It's been around for a while. It's just it's a recolor. It's a Delta recolor, so not bad. And then here he is all combined and beefed up, and I think this thing's huge. I don't have it. I've never handled it, and I actually haven't even watched a review about it. But I know a lot of people love this, and they say a lot of great things about it. So pretty cool overall. Here is the alt mode, and in the alt mode, it gets the job done. You know, I have the original Power Master Optimus Prime, and I appreciate that somebody somewhere out there is making it, and this would classify almost as an obscure type of a figure, but it's been around for a long time. They've done obscure before obscure was popular. Okay, so it seems like people are getting their KFC Toys Eva Metal Phase P6K toe cutter. Basically Psykill. It is a Junkion remolded into Psykill, which is a great idea, and it's not the first time it's been done. It's been done in the past by other companies, and I have one that's been redone. And this one, when I first saw it, I thought it's cool for those who missed out on the Action Force DX version or whatever. That's the superior one in my opinion, and those who missed out can get this. And I hope they continue with more GoBots. That would be awesome. But now that they're getting in hand, I'm hearing that it doesn't hold together and the clip together properly in alt mode, in a motorcycle mode, and that they're finding some issues with it. They're complaining about the head sculpt. I think that they did the best that they could with what they had going on with turning a Junkion into Psykill. It doesn't look bad. It looks better than the past Junkion into Psykill option, but it still isn't as good as the DX version. So making an actual Psykill that's intended to be Psykill is of course going to be better than this. So some people are very disappointed in this. Overall, I haven't heard any breakage, and I haven't really heard anything other than the fact that the transformation sucks, because it does kind of suck. So anyhow, I don't think it's a bad figure though. Listening to what Sony at TM Reviews had to say, and then T2RX6, I think it's Justin, they both had almost the identical things to say about this. And my feeling is they're putting a square peg in a round hole, and it didn't work. But it still looks pretty decent overall if you can't get another option. I do kind of anticipate a sell on this, but I was kind of hoping this would be successful so that we get more GoBot options. Alright, so we are getting this, it's Thomas. I guess the Thomas KOs are coming. More of them. So I think this is a different company than the first one that came out. This one is called MH03. I did review one. I don't think this is the same one I got. I think this is a different one. But anyhow, if you're in the market for these, I think you can get them at TF Direct and a couple of other places, but I'm starting to see cases of them starting to show up and pictures of that. So, sort of exciting, but it kind of gets old. They're all just knocking off the same old figures. It'd be nice. Hey, let's get some of these other ones that are harder to get knocked off. That would be a lot better. But anyway, I think they can only legitimately knock off the ones that they have some sort of rights to. Okay, I got a picture of this giant project with a combining battleship project here. This is an arm. So the first one's going to be an arm. And so I really missed the point that this giant battleship that they were making was going to turn into an arm. Or even be a combiner and all. So that's going to be a pretty big combiner overall, I believe. And so it's kind of cool in a way. I still really do not know much about this project, and I'm kind of curious to start seeing some reviews on it. So it looks like MMC's version of Deathsaurus should be shipping pretty soon. So that's pretty cool. So here's how the boxes come together. If it looks like more than one box, or maybe not. Maybe this is just the one type of packaging, and then you can wrap around art kind of thing. So stacking a couple of the same together gets you a different result. But it does look pretty good. Here is the Saurus of the Deathsaurus, and so that does look pretty good overall. And so they're beating X-Transbots to the punch. X-Transbots purposely put too much on their own plate. I don't think MMC really has a whole lot on their plate, and they're keeping it manageable. X-Transbots is shooting for the stars, and that's holding them back a little bit. So they won't have theirs out probably by the end of this year. I don't think it'll be out by the end of this year, but this will. And MMC does really good quality, really more or less intuitive transformations, And so this is going to be smaller though. So there's good and bad points about it. It will actually come out. They do hit a timeline pretty well. So good job, MMC. So I really wasn't sure how I was going to go about this sequentially, because now I'm going to get into talking about this Takara event that they had. And so with that, there's pictures of Masterpiece and Mainline and all that. So I'm just going to slide through all of this, and then I'm going to hit some legends and stuff like this. This is their Raiden, the Masterpiece Raiden, which is, again, it's like a Mainline. So it's like a mixture of both anyway. So it doesn't really matter that much. But it looks less bad than I thought it would. I know people are still trashing this because Moon Studio looks so fantastic. I mean, Moon Studio is really a nice looking one. But let's put this next to this one right here. So their Haslab project is coming along. I don't know when these are going to start showing up for people, but they keep showing off all this stuff. And this is all the different various modes all at the same time. This is the greatest way to display this. So you can see the Lyo Convoy, you can see Star Saber, you can see all of them separately. You can see the ship combined, all that kind of stuff. So I think that's smart. That's a great way to show a display. Here is the Canon camera. So this was a camera first and a transformer second. I hear it's a functioning camera. This is a point I missed. So that's why it has to be big, bulky, and weird looking in bot mode. So if it's a functioning camera, fantastic. That's awesome. Here we go with this Dark Amber Leo Prime, and so a lot of people are questioning Beast Wars. I'm gonna put this out there. There is a picture floating around. I didn't even bother tracking it down for a Beast Wars Rhinox, and it is a fake. So I'm not gonna throw the picture of the fake up, because I was told by multiple people it's a fake. And if that's wrong and we come out with some good pictures next week, no harm, no foul. But why bother showing that fake picture on an actual news channel, right? Yeah, official news here. Okay, here we go with sliding into some mainline stuff. And with it, it just kind of shows some of the stuff we've already seen before, but it looks pretty good. And I do want that point blank. That looks pretty awesome. Here we go with more stuff over here. Starscream and the Inferno, and then Clampdown, Cosmos, the Velocitron stuff. So it looks pretty cool. It's pretty fun. Now this picture here shows more or less sort of all the modes of this Legacy Metroplex. I personally, I'm not trying to bash anyone if they like it. I personally just feel like this is going to not deliver the numbers that Hasbro wants, the results Hasbro is looking for in a Titan, and it is seriously going to jeopardize future Titan releases. And maybe it'll just make them turn and shift course in what they plan to put out as a Titan, but I don't think it's going to hit the sales numbers. This might be a good old Ollie special for $40 or something in about a year and a half, 2 years. But then, of course, right next to it is the good old Minosaur from... This is the Takara version, though. These aren't exactly the same thing as Hasbro, but I don't know what the differences are. We got the movie Masterpiece stuff right here. So we have Blackout and Starscream, the Revenge version, and it shows both modes. And so overall, pretty good looking for... They match the movie aesthetic almost perfectly, so great job right there. More Studio Series stuff that they have showing right here. Out of this, most specifically what I'm interested in, of course, is the Ironhide and the Wheelie. I really do want to get the Wheelie. So some of the other stuff, like the RC is interesting, but it's like I'm excited about Fembots and RC. I think we're RC'd out at this point, though. And we have the Unique Toys Nero R04. There's a reissue. So I think the left is the original and the right's the reissue. I'm not sure. All I want to say is that every single person that has gotten this figure says they absolutely love it. So I don't have it, but every single person that has picked this up says that it's a fantastic figure. And they're reissuing it with some little different colors and stuff like that. So pretty good. So get in on it while it's still available before it sells out. And what I mean by that is it's up for pre-order at various places like Shozi and others. So pre-order yours before the pre-orders sell out. So for some Legends news, we have the Air Guardian, the new age version of Skyfire, which super ultra tempting. I'm probably gonna order it, but I want the Magic Square version. But this does look good. As you know, I I do like Jetfire, Skyfire. It's my favorite G1 figure. Not so much character, but the G1 figure. But it kind of carries over into the character kind of thing. But this is like $89, 89, 86, something along those lines at Show Z. But everywhere is getting it in stock, and it looks to be very good. I don't know what other colors that we plan to see New Age put it out, but New Age usually does a minimum of 4 repaints and different variations, so it'd be kind of nice to see this EX version of this, right? Alright, so King Toys is showing off pictures of their Land Mini, the CY-Mini 02, and here's the thing about this. I do hear a lot of people talk about the fact that they haven't finished their big one, the Masterpiece, and they're working on a Legends, so I don't know what to say about that, but they're showing some pictures, so that's all I gotta say. I would prefer that a company that's really pretty much only doing one thing for the most part would finish up their first project before they start their second. But at the same time, for whatever reason, they're taking their time. Maybe it's going to be a great quality product on the Masterpiece. But here is the Legends. I think this is 01 next to 02, and this is where they're at on the Legends. But if you're in on this for the Legends, you need to be in with a 3-year time frame. That's all I got to say, or at least that's what it seems like based on what they're doing with the Masterpiece. Maybe they've learned some lessons, and they're just kind of going to be able to carry that forward into their Legends 1-2. So still, it would be nice to actually see this thing, like as they do these pictures, show the entire prototype of the combined mode. Okay, so mainline news: Buzzworthy Bumblebee Studio Series Nest, Bone Crusher, and Ratchet turnaround video kind of stuff that's going on. I'm going to show a picture of bot and picture of alt mode and move on. I'm not personally interested in this, but I do think that it's cool that they're doing this. The Buzzworthy Bumblebee seems to be kind of like a second chance to get some stuff, and I just don't know why the paint apps just don't exist on this, so I'm missing that point. But here it is. Here's the bot modes. Now here we go into the alt modes with that, so just kind of showing this stuff here. The thing about this is that these are Studio Series, and I think the alt modes just look fantastic. And then we kind of get into the bot modes. I think they leave a little bit to be desired, but Studio Series is doing a much better job than, I say, like original versions. Then there's also the Buzzworthy Bumblebee Optimus Prime, and as you can see through the window right there, you can see the bot mode in the window, and then you can see the alt mode down. Oh, wait. Never mind. You can see the picture that might look like that inside the box. It might not. We got some packaging shots of what's to come here with this new TV show that they've got that's kind of replacing Cyberverse, and it's Earthspark. Okay, so I want to say a few things real quick. First off, the packaging doesn't surprise me at all. Open face, whatever. At least you can see the figure. At least you kind of have an idea. A kid can actually get their hands on it and say, "Ooh, I like this. I want this." And parent could understand I'm buying an action figure that transforms. And so that's fine. Now, I also want to say that I'm happy that there's some sort of a media driving this, and we're going into a new generation, another era number like 12 or 15 of Transformers, and it's exciting, and I will give the show a shot. I'll give it a chance if I can find a way to watch it. We've got in-hand images of Generation Select's DK3 Breaker, and it is a blue version of Sideswipe. It looks great, and I like that. I said Sideswipe. Trailbreaker. What am I talking about? So anyway, a blue version of Trailbreaker. I think that mold is a really good mold. Hasbro did a pretty good job with that, and I'm really kind of excited about the mainline being so good, so advanced compared to where they were just a few years ago. Here's the alt mode. I mean, the alt mode's nothing new, but we can see it in blue, and I like the fact that they even put the accents, the little yellow and red and orange paint accents on it, so it matches up really good. So, I mean, we're having this battle out in the Masterpiece at the $100 and something price point. This is probably, what, around the $30 price point? Okay, so we do have 2 more figures coming for the Speedy 500 collection, Wave 2, Crasher, and Shadow Strip. Now, this is Crasher, and I don't want to say it looks great, but it's not a bad Crasher. It's not the worst Crasher that I could think of. And how on earth are they getting away with the GoBots? Because they can make all the GoBots they want, they just choose not to. So I like that they're including this. I will support this. I will buy this at I think it's $25 price point, but when I see it in my Walmart, I'm going to buy it because I want to support the GoBots. You know, we've got tons of Transformers and no GoBots, right? So here is the alt mode, and of course, it's just a knockoff on a previous old mode, and it's a nice reuse, and I'll take the Crasher. So we've got this figure here. This is the Shadow Strip, and it's a drag strip painted black. Does this give you G2 vibes, like G2 Minosaur vibes? Is this what's about to happen here? And if so, that's not a bad idea. I mean, it's not the end of the world, and it's a pretty cool way to bring it to life. And here's the box and the alt mode, and yep, it's a nice looking recolor of drag strip. I'll take it. Okay, so I've heard a lot of people talking about Blitzwing not showing up in their area, showing up in Canada. I haven't seen it here in the US just yet, but I think other people have gotten their hands on it, so that's kind of cool. This is New Zealand. It looks just like it does here in the US, so that's kind of exactly kind of the way it looks. Oh yeah, the price though, I mean the price doesn't look like that here. It's $25 each, and then the more expensive ones are a little bit more, but you can see the Speedy 500 or 1500 is pretty readily available at all Walmarts. And Studio Series Deluxe War for Cybertron Cliff Jumper has been found in the system. Some super sleuthing to find this out, and then there's the ROTV Mirage / Nightbird. So there's some new stuff coming, and more and more, but nothing officially announced, and all these sleuths trying to find this stuff before it's officially announced. Okay, so this is sort of ending Transformers and getting into all the other stuff. There's a ton of other stuff, so we got to get to that quick. But remember, Friday the 30th, I probably might touch on it in my Friday video, but I probably won't remember to talk about it in the Friday video because there's so much going on with that. But that's when this set should be going up, Friday or Saturday. But be ready for this to go up Friday at, I think, 5 p.m. in there, and be ready to order it. As soon as you can order it, order it. I'm going to try to get 2 of these just because I think it's a really cool set, but I have a feeling it's going to be really hard to get, sell out fast, because it is an awesome set. And so there's going to be a whole lot of other stuff too, just a ton of other stuff going on with this PulseCon from Friday and Saturday. So a lot of franchises, including Indiana Jones and everything else that's going on, Star Wars, Transformers, G.I. Joe, all that great stuff. Speaking of G.I. Joe, this past week, the news broke about kind of making some of the international purchases for G.I. Joe Classified being a Pulse only, so you won't be able to get it everywhere else outside of the U.S. and a couple of other countries too. But for the most part, most of the world is going to be seeing international distribution only through Pulse for G.I. Joe Classified. Now, this is a problem in the UK and the Eurozone, all that kind of stuff, and a lot of people in the U.S., well, it doesn't affect me. Personally, it doesn't affect me. Yeah, it does. Do you know why it affects you? Because that shows that they still don't have confidence in G.I. Joe Classified. And it also shows that they're not going to produce nearly as much as I thought they would. They are backing down. It's a sad state of affairs of what they're doing. This is evidence and proof. They do not want to do a full-on worldwide retail distribution of G.I. Joe Classified, meaning that they are going to be a little harder to get. That's bad news for all collectors. Now, Hasbro is making Dungeons & Dragon figures cartoon style. They have a movie coming out in 2023, and so with any sort of media to a franchise, they can go hog wild with it if they want to, and they are going to do that with Dungeons & Dragons. Now, I'm pretty sure we're going to get in Wave 2 a lot of the characters we're missing, but this is Wave 1. Everything you see right here, the Avenger on the very right, you see the Avenger and the Dungeon Master, those are exclusive to Target right now, and the Pulse is sold out. You can still get them at Target. You can still get all of this stuff pre-ordered at Target. I don't know what that Target hate is. I haven't had an issue with Target ever. So other than I think a couple things could have been packed a little better, but it really wasn't that bad. So I'm not sure why there's so much Target hate on this, but you know, I've got mine pre-ordered. I am in on 2 sets, and I've got a Pulse Avenger to see which one comes first. That'd be kind of fun. I did make an entire video about this, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. You guys can check that video out if you want more information. All right, so starting lineup, it's not something I was going to buy in the first place. I didn't care about it, but I'm reporting on it because I know that other people do care about this. And this is basically 1/12 scale, 6-inch figures. I mean, 7-inch, 7.5-inch, depending on how tall the player is, right? And so with that, these are $50 a piece. And these are definitely targeting adult collectors. The price point, I'm not going to defend it at all. I think it's ridiculous. But here's what I'm hearing why the price point's so high. Number one, they got to pay for all of the like the Nike symbols, all that kind of stuff. They got to pay royalties, and so that's one. They got to pay royalties to the NBA. They got to pay all these royalties, whatever. Also, the fact that they're probably not going to produce as many as, say, a Marvel Legends character. So Marvel Legends might see 30,000 to 80,000 produced. This might see 25,000 produced. So there's another reason. So we can go down the list here. All I got to say, if you like the aesthetic and you want this, buy it. If you don't, pass. I will not be even buying one of these. I would buy a Michael Jordan, maybe a couple of the old, greats from back in the day, but I'm not really in on these at all. All right, so the Haslab Ghost Rider did not do the early bird funding like the His Tank. So, first of all, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on with this wrong in a way. There's not a huge community that's like clamoring for Ghost Rider, and if there was, the people that are clamoring for Ghost Rider want a motorcycle, and so this being a Haslab with a car should have had a car, a motorcycle, and a horse. It should have had Nicolas Cage. It should have all the different iterations. You should have been at least be able to unlock a Nicolas Cage or whatever, and those kinds of things. Now, I'm sure they don't want to pay Nicolas Cage, but that's how it should have gone down. So, there's a lot of issues. Now, you're not going to get the Robbie Reyes figure that's just a standard Robbie Reyes figure, so you already lost a tier. So this thing, depending on what you think it's worth, I mean, is it worth $150, $200? But then all the other figures would have made it worth $300, and then you're just really underwater by $50. Who knows? But now we got the Mephisto. So, there's two things to think about this Mephisto. I have no skin in the game. There's nothing they can offer unless they put like an MP44 as an unlocked tier. I'd get it, but there's nothing they can really offer that would make me want to buy this. I don't want to buy it at all. But the community wants this Mephisto. So for all of you Marvel Legends collectors out there, you have to really understand that if this thing funds and they unlock Mephisto, then there will be no Mephisto at retail. So, if this thing doesn't fund, or if it funds but you don't unlock Mephisto, there's a chance to get Mephisto at retail. And so you could go buy 5 of them at retail if you want to, for whatever reason, versus having to buy 5 $350 Haslabs to get 5 Mephistos. I mean, I'm just pointing this obvious out. If Mephisto's that big of a deal, then it's way more important than any car with some light-up wheels, right? Oh, by the way, this project lost... I'm understanding 300 backers in the past 24 hours. Alright, this was the quickest, easiest picture I can get that showed all of this wave 9. Is it wave 9, wave 10, something along those lines? I lose count of what wave they call all this, but I did pre-order mine for BBTS, and my King Randor, and Lasher, and Comic Triclops, and my Digitino have all come into stock. I had to pay for them BBTS. So get over there right now if you want to lock in these, because we might not see them at retail. There's a chance you don't see them at retail. If you see them at retail, you can get them a couple bucks cheaper. But if you want to guarantee you get maybe a King Randor, go do it right now, BBTS. Just get yourself King Randor or whatever if you're in on this kind of stuff. I'm pretty excited about it, pretty stoked. And I'm wondering, though, someone said King Randor's chest piece kind of mirrors another character's chest piece. Which one is that? Was that a Jitsu? Is it Jitsu's? BBTS also got Sectaurs in Sectaurs. There's pre-orders for Stellara and Dargon. Now, I pre-ordered one Dargon and a few Stellaras. See, Stellara is really the important one here because she is definitely the one that you will not be able to get. I mean, you can't get it any other way. You can go on eBay right now and get about 50 Dargons. I don't know, not all complete, and maybe this one's got something better about it, but you could go on and get a pretty much complete Dargon. There's no riders for this, so if you want to, before this comes out and the hype's up, you might want to get some of the mounts, maybe at least the Dragonfly or something like that, if you want to get in on this line. But Sectaurs is a lot of fun. I got a full collection of it, and I'll be reviewing these when they come in. Before we get to Star Wars news, I thought this would be kind of fun little story. It's not a story. This is a listing on eBay that I just happened to bump into it, and it just blew my mind. A, whoever this is a professional photographer. B, this is the entire toy line. The entire Filmation Ghostbusters toy line in one shot. I noticed a few things missing. There's not 100% complete, but it is really darn near close to every single thing being complete. and being the full toy line. Guy wants $4,200, or maybe the lady wants $4,200 for the whole toy line in one shot. All right, so Star Wars, we've got this. This is the Black Series, Boba Fett, and this is what I missed out. I don't know why I didn't get this. I missed it, and I chose not to pre-order it, whatever. I'm pretty sure it'll show up at Target, though. I think it's a Target exclusive thing. So anyway, this is the Droids paint version of the Black Series Boba Fett. So pretty cool overall if you're in on this. We got more shots, packaging shots of this scary Wookiee, the Wookiee Halloween edition. So I was against these holiday ones at first, but now looking back on it, I think it's kind of a fun, festive thing. And I was upset about the price being a little bit higher and all of that. Well, now that's the normal price. The old, way too high price is now the everyday low pricing at Walmart. So I guess it's not that big of a deal anymore. So this is, they're saying it's a Wookiee. They're not trying to say it's, the other gigantic Wookiee that isn't really gigantic. Yeah, not Chrysanthemum. And Amazon is now taking pre-orders for the Black Series Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Tano, Grogu set. 3 figures in one. $67 for the low price of $67. You remember Grogu was a $10 figure, right? And then each of them were available for $20. Now you get a cloak, and it's a $70 item. So anyhow, pre-order those at Amazon, or wait till they come in and go on a clearance. I mean, there's 2 ways to go about it, right? And we received reports of the long-awaited Mandalorian Grogu, whatever, set with the squid little octopus-looking thing in there, and they should start come into stores. So you should start seeing these pretty soon in your Targets. It's a Target exclusive. Every other Target exclusive has hit clearance. Let's see if Mandalorian is going to buck the trend. Hold on, is there a Black Series Mandalorian exclusive at Walmart? I think Walmart's kind of feeling left out here, right? The Cad Bane Mandalorian exclusive, Amazon exclusive, Mandalorian exclusive, is coming into stock at Amazon, so you start getting yours, so you pre-ordered it. So here's the thing. This is not the same as the first Cad Bane they put out, but it is kind of cool. This one seems to be a little bit more, in my opinion, like what I remember seeing in the cartoon. This one looks more like the cartoon version, the other one looks more like a real-world version, but this one's supposed to look more like a real-world version, in my opinion, because it was from the Bad Batch. I don't know, maybe it does have the Bad Batch animated look to it in a way, but anyhow, it's still cool. Cad Bane is a cool character. Before I even really knew who he was, I saw the figure and I wanted it back in the day, and I still have an old Cad Bane figure. I also have the Black Series. I might have to get in on this one. And lastly, with Star Wars, the Black Series publishing figures now arriving from Haslab Pulse, and so we got these 3 figures going on right here. A Leia. This is I think this kind of reminds me of in the 90s when they made some of the figures from the novels back in the day. So that was pretty cool, and now they're doing it in the Black Series. But a nice excuse to do repaints, but you can't put out a Rex. You can't reissue Rex straight up, but you can repaint a bunch of figures and put a bunch of crazy packaging and charge a bunch of extra money. That's the way they go these days at Hasbro. Alright, so let me know what you think about this week's weekly news and review. Is this enough news for 1 week? I mean, come on, that's a lot going on. And I'm pretty sure equally this much is going to go on next week with PulseCon and all the stuff going on. Curious to hear about what Indiana Jones stuff's going to be popping up at the PulseCon and all of that kind of stuff right there. What else is going to be new for the Transformers, and how is all of the ordering going to go for that? But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. What did I miss this week that was really cool? Like and subscribe. Tydirium Hanger out.